Welcome to the Resilient Retail Game Plan, a podcast for anyone wanting to start, grow or scale a profitable creative product business with me, Catherine Eardley. The Resilient Retail Game Plan is a podcast dedicated to one thing, breaking down the concepts and tools that I've gathered from 20 years in the retail industry and showing you how you can use them in your business. This is the real nuts and bolts of running a successful product business, broken down in an easy, accessible way. This is not a podcast about learning how to make your business look good. It's the tools and techniques that will make you and your business feel good. Confidently plan, launch and manage your products, and feel in control of your sales numbers and cash flow to help you build a resilient retail business. Welcome to the Resilient Retail Game Plan. Hi, it's your host, Catherine Eardley. I'm the founder of the Resilient Retail Club, which is my membership group and mastermind for ambitious product business owners. Go check it out at resilientretailclub.com. And if you use the code 10podcast, that's 10podcast, you can get £10 off your first month in the membership. So today we have something slightly different. We have the story of Emily Johnson, who built her business up on Amazon, and she now works with other product business owners to help them get started on Amazon. So she's going to share not only her amazing story, but also some really great tips and tricks on getting started and some things to think about if you've ever considered adding Amazon as one of your sales channels. Hi, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do you want to start off with an introduction to yourself and your business?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello. So my name's Emily and I run, it's a very niche business. My brand is a soft toy business, mainly about astronauts and space. I'll quickly show Catherine on the screen what I do, but these are my little guys, these are my soft toys. So it's all space themed and I own the brand and I make the products and I sell the products myself. So that is my product business, my product-based business that I've been doing for 10 years, and I mainly sell on Amazon. And what I do now is I've been doing that for about 10 years, got it to a place where I sell in 15 countries around the world. It's mainly, the model that I've set up allows it to be a semi-passive business. So now I coach other businesses how to do the same thing.
Fantastic, amazing. So tell us a little bit about your journey then and getting started on Amazon.
Okay, so before this business, I did have another small business that I set up, completely different. It was a natural cosmetics company. That taught me a lot about business, a lot of failings there. Very long story short, that business I sold to an American company. It was a very random thing. It's a completely different podcast to talk about that. But so that's what happened there. I sold that business and had children. And with my entrepreneurial spirit, as I'm sure everybody who's entrepreneurial has that deep down need to keep doing something else. So I had these illustrations of the astronauts, decided that they would look great as a soft toy, had absolutely no idea how to do this, started doing research into how I could get them produced on a massive scale, because I don't sew them, I don't make them myself at all. It's a big scale. So I found factories, get all that set up, and set up a website. And bear in mind, this was more than 10 years ago. So the whole social media thing wasn't really a selling platform then. It was a very different online world back then. I started off setting up a website, but it was very, very basic. Didn't really know anything about SEO and websites, that kind of thing. It's very much just me muddling my way through. It got to the point where I got it up and running, got my first product order, a very small order run, and I sold a few on the website, but it was very, very hard work. It was very difficult. And the business, the website, and at that point, I did actually try eBay. The traction wasn't there, to be honest, and the visibility just wasn't there. I just couldn't quite I knew I wanted the business to be a reasonably big business, and I just couldn't quite get it there. It was a very difficult process. And I think it was my husband, Mark, he one day just haphazardly said, well, why don't you just sell them on Amazon? I was like, it'd be ridiculous. Amazon's huge. It's for huge, big brands. It's not something that I could possibly get involved with. But actually, it put a seed in my mind about it. okay, I'll spend a bit of time doing my research. I spent, to be honest, quite a few months researching how a small brand like mine could maybe tap into that, because it is, when you get it set up properly, it's a worldwide audience. It can be massive. It doesn't have to be worldwide. You can sell in your home country. Like, obviously I'm based in the UK, but most of my sales come from America. You can stick to 1, 2, 15 countries. You can choose your own business model. So after lots and lots of research, I just took the plunge and I opened my account and looked at everything. The back end of Amazon's called Seller Central, and at first glance, it's extremely confusing. There's just so many elements of it. And that's where I was 10 years ago. I just looked at it and thought, oh my goodness, this is extremely difficult. I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, persevered, had a few sales trickling through. But what I didn't do was I didn't learn at that time how to optimize Amazon properly. I didn't know how to advertise on Amazon properly. All those kind of things. When you start a new platform, you've got to learn them. So I decided, I started a mission, and I basically spent a good 2 years probably all by myself learning everything that I could find about Amazon. And the problem I found was there is a lot of not particularly useful information or contradictory information about Amazon. Amazon it's changed a lot in those 10 years. It used to be the case where you could sell, like do drop shipping on Amazon or retail arbitrage, but Amazon are actually changing from that model now. They're slowly wanting to be a platform where small brands and big brands, but what they want is a professional get up. They want people with integrity to sell on the platform, not just a ton of people selling, for example, Nike trainers they find down in a sale. That kind of models, they're moving very much away from that. So 2 years pretty much spent learning as much as I could, trying to filter out what would work, what wouldn't work, what Amazon actually want you to do on the platform. And at the end of those 2 years, it came up to the fourth quarter. So we're talking October, November, December. And after I'd implemented all my learnings, the sales that year absolutely just skyrocketed. And I was only selling in the UK at that point. But obviously, because I sell toys, the run up to Christmas is obviously the busiest time for me anyway. But it was a pivotal moment in the business. It just boomed. So I kind of thought, okay, those 2 years of learning have paid off. I know exactly what I need to do now. So just continued that. The money that I earned that first really good Christmas enabled me to then plow that money back into my business, create more products, order more stock, and then start looking into venturing into other countries. It just gave me a really good board to set off and really start building the business big. So yeah, and from then on, it just continued on like that, sell year round in all the different countries, but definitely the fourth quarter is the biggest time of year. And yeah, I very much know what I'm doing now nowadays. So yeah, I think I've mastered most of Amazon. And yeah, and it's ticking over. I'd say it's semi-passive. There's different business models you can choose to get involved with on Amazon. And the one I do is I pay Amazon to be my distributor, basically. So ship into their warehouses. They do all the shipping out for me, all the customer service, all that kind of thing. So because it's semi-passive, I'm a bit obsessed with it, to be honest. So I dip in and out of it more than I need to. For an example, when this last Christmas of December 22, I managed to get Amazon in a position where it was all set up. I filled the warehouses around the world with my products ready to go. And me and my family, actually, we took a month off, all of us, kids from school, husband work, me, and we went to Australia for a month.
Oh, wow.
And I say this to give people an idea of what's achievable, because all that whole month of December, Amazon was selling for me. Very, very minimal input from myself. I dipped in and out, but in Australia, as long as you've got Wi-Fi, you can dip in and out and check everything, make sure everything's ticking along nicely, because you do come up with problems and issues on Amazon, which I'll go into later. But that basically is I just want people to have an idea of what is available on Amazon and what you can actually achieve on there as well. And the great thing about what I've learned is that you can start off really, really small, which is what I did. I think my very first order run from the factory that I use was 100 units, which I don't know if people sort of know about big manufacturing, but a lot of places that I have been in touch with, they won't even entertain you if you don't order like 10,000 at a time, like huge amounts. So I was very fortunate that the factory that I work closely with, that very first order, they allowed me 100 because I begged and pleaded, and they allowed me to do that. So, and I started off in the UK, very, very small, and you can build it as fast or slow as you want to. So it's very, very flexible. You are in control basically with how you want to build and what business model you want. Like I said, there's different business models you can choose on Amazon. You don't have to ship into the warehouse like I do to make it semi-passive. You can literally start off in your spare bedroom and ship the orders yourself. You've just got to be very quick. Amazon they like speedy. So if you do that business model, it's called FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant, which is you are the merchant.
Rather than FBA, fulfilled by Amazon.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And also, if you don't have FBA, you can't access Prime, right? Is that correct?
Yes and no. So FBA, where Amazon do the work for you, it's kind of automatically Prime. If you can prove to Amazon, if you're a long-term seller, but you do the FBN model and you can prove to them that you've got your network of distribution set up yourself, and you can prove, I'm not quite sure what the requirements are, but there is a way you can do FBM with Prime, but it's a tricky process. It's not for beginners. It's something that you can work towards, definitely. I've not actually done that because I do everything FBA. There is a way. It's quite new, I think, to Amazon, but yeah. But basically for beginners, FBA, Amazon doing the work for you, will get you Prime. And that's really what customers want, I think, nowadays.
And it also gets you access. So Amazon Prime members are generally the biggest spenders on the platform, right? And the biggest, yeah. So, I mean, it sounds fantastic. Obviously, it's a very appealing idea about taking a month off in December. But what would you say some of the big blockers then for people when it comes to thinking about joining the Amazon platform?
Okay, yeah, and I tell people about our trip to Australia. This is very recent, but you've got to bear in mind it's taken me 10 years to build up to that point. So from a beginner's point of view, first of all, you need to go into Amazon nowadays as a professional brand. That's what Amazon are moving towards. They don't want just random people. Like I said, use the example of Nike. They don't want people just buying some sale Nike trainers and just flinging it up on the platform. You can still do that if that's what you want, but Amazon, be warned, Amazon are moving away from that. And
it's more of an eBay model, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and Amazon are very much moving away from that. So that's just something that's happening at the moment. So they want proper brands, and they want people to sell with integrity, like you would sell anywhere. You know, for example, if you sell through your website, you treat Amazon like any other part of your business, professionally, with integrity. That's what I always tell people. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme at all. It's hard work to start with. And I do talk about all the semi-passive stuff, but it's hard work to get to that point. You do have to build up traction. You do need to know how to optimize things. Amazon have a really, really good in-house advertising scheme, which is fantastic, but you need to know how to do it properly, because when I first started doing it, I didn't really know what I was doing and I wasted a heck of a lot of money. It's very, very easy to do. It's all about keywords and positioning, all that kind of thing. So yeah, there is a lot of blocks. I think one of the big ones that a lot of people I speak to is Amazon glitches. And I know that a lot of, like Instagram, for example, have glitch things happening all the time. You know, your captions don't appear where you want them to, that kind of thing. Amazon it can be another level of glitch. It can be very tricky to navigate because, for example, you could sort of notice over a week that your sales have just dipped down and you've got no idea why. There's nothing obvious. For me, I have what I call my little glitch list. It's not so little, it's actually massive, but I have a glitch list. So through experience, if there's a problem with sales and they're not following the normal trajectory that they normally follow at that time of year, I usually, just through knowledge, experience, can tell what the glitch is. But it could be anything. It could be just suddenly Amazon decide they don't like your method of payment. So, and with Amazon, you're dealing with bots a lot of the time. They're quite irrational sometimes. If there's a glitch going on and they think, right, don't like this sort code, they just suspend your account, and you're left absolutely befuddled of what the problem is, and you've got to go in and investigate. And there's all kinds of things like that. Sometimes Amazon will throw off your photography. They'll just, you'll come to your listing and there's no photos there, and for no apparent reason. It's because Amazon it's a brilliant algorithm, but it is by no means perfect.
Right.
So that's one thing that people come to me and say, I've already been selling on Amazon, it's been going great, and now it's just stopped. And after a bit of investigation, there's usually something obvious that's happened. It's usually down to a pesky glitch.
So if you're dealing with bots, how do you rationalize with a bot then?
Again, it's experience. Like, I kind of have got to the point where I kind of know what the bots want. I know what they, like, if I'm asking them a question, I kind of know how to word it. Sometimes you can ask a question, because they do have a support system on Amazon, but it's not the best, to be honest. It's not people who actively sell on Amazon who are answering your questions. It's right. people in a call center who don't have any experience. They're just literally reading, written scripts kind of thing, or you get a bot that you're talking to. It is just experience about how to ask a question or how to word things so the bot picks up on what you want the answer to, basically. For an example, when you're setting up an account, it's usually a bot that deals with your verification, and they will ask you for, I don't know, a bank statement proving, or a utility bill proving your address. And it can be something like, if your postcode isn't formatted in exactly, like font size, everything, gaps, everything, if it isn't absolutely perfect on both documents, or how you've told Amazon that that's how your postcode shows up, that's it. They'll just block you, but they won't tell you, oh, your postcode needs to be this, this, and this. They just block you, and you've got to then figure it out yourself, almost. It's that kind of thing, because a bot just reads things, and if they don't match, then no, sorry, you're not verified. So that can be something that people need. And again, through experience, I've done it for 10 years, and there's loads of these little things that I think, yeah, it'll either be that or that.
Right.
So yeah, glitches is a big thing.
It's odd that really that they are so lax with their customer service, given that if they want more people to sell. I mean, that I have to say, that is the one thing that I hear about Amazon. I definitely do work with people who sell on Amazon, but for every person I know who sells on Amazon, there's plenty of people who've thought about it and just got completely put off by the setup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what the problem is with Amazon is it is just got so huge that it almost can't keep up with itself. For example, the glitches, I think if they had more manpower in the tech side, they could sort all these glitches out, but they've got so much going on in the whole company, because it's not just Amazon selling, it's all these other things that Amazon are into. I think that it's just got too big to perfect itself.
Yeah.
They almost don't need to worry about these glitches. If sellers have problems, let the sellers sort it out for themselves.
Right, I see.
That's the impression that I get. And I mean, I assume that they're always continually working on the algorithm. It's called A9, the algorithm, and I'm sure that they're continually trying to perfect it. But as it stands, it's by no means a perfect platform. I think that's like any platform, isn't it? It's probably, I'm not a techie person, but I imagine that running something as big as Amazon is quite a hard task. So yeah, I think that's it. I think Amazon, they do care about their sellers, but I think that they've just got more going on than little sellers are not a top priority for them.
Right. Do you ever have any concerns? I know one of the other things that comes up around Amazon is this idea that if you have a product and it does really well on Amazon, that Amazon itself, because they've got all your data, they'll be able to say, right, well, we'll make that then.
Okay, yeah, that's a tricky one. So, like I said earlier, Amazon are moving towards more branded businesses. If you have trademarked your business with the English government or the American government, properly trademarked, you can apply for brand registry on Amazon, where it offers another level of like brand protection for your products. And it also opens up a whole new level of things on the Seller Central platform. But I think, for example, let's take my business. So mine they're specific astronauts. They've got a specific look. They all have the same face embroidered. If Amazon were to copy my product exactly, that's a tricky one. I'm not really sure. I would obviously kick up a bit of a storm about that and say, look, you've registered me. This is, and what I do, if you've got a specific product, like mine has a specific look that is definitely my brand, I, as well as trademarking, I register my designs. It's a similar process to trademarking. So in the British government files, wherever it is, I've got documentation saying that this exact model is like registered to me and my business.
Yeah.
So again, I've done that as a level of protection, not necessarily against Amazon. It's tricky, isn't it? It's very tricky, because I think for more sort of generic things.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
A lot of the companies or the businesses that I work with are, for example, candle makers. I do a lot of things with candle making businesses, and obviously candle, it can be generic, but what people want to buy is a specific brand. And I don't think Amazon are perfectly within their right to sell candles, but they won't be selling your version of a candle.
Mm-hmm.
If Amazon blatantly copied you, I think you could probably
get it taken down.
Yeah. I think they'd be reasonable about that. I think they're not in the business just to barefaced steal ideas and copy, because they're what good does it do them? They make enough fees from us, from advertising. I don't think it's worth their while just to keep stealing products from people.
Probably from small businesses, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think if they set up, like, again, I refer back to Nike. If they set up a trainer business that had a similar marking to Nike, I think Nike would probably have something to say about that. And it's just not. Amazon are not in the shoe business. They're not in the toy business. They're in the selling platform business. I think, I hope that doesn't come up for anybody's business. But
But it's not something that you've seen with small businesses.
No, I haven't actually. Never. Like, literally never. I mean, I'm sure it happens where people think, oh, that's a bit too similar to mine. Yeah, I think as long as if you're trademarked and you've registered your designs and protected yourself as much as possible. I've got 10 years worth of almost evidence that is my brand. And obviously, if Amazon next week just put up an astronaut soft toy, it's kind of obvious who had it first.
Yeah.
As long as you put things in place to kind of prove that you've been selling this product for a long time, and photography, like I said, the trademarking, all that kind of thing, it gives you a leg to stand on. I think if it got to that point where you had to really say, hang on, look out, because I know it does happen. I have seen other brands, I don't think on Amazon, but where they've literally copied, I don't know, a jumper that's specific design, and you just think it's really naughty, isn't it? For big businesses to do that, really naughty.
For sure. You mentioned candles, which brings me on to my next question, which was about what kinds of products do you think, or what kind of businesses do you feel like do well on Amazon, or is it pretty universal?
Amazon are moving towards where they want to be the platform where you can get anything, like literally, that they want everyone in the world to go on Amazon and be able to get whatever they want. The biggest problem that I think small businesses have is going into a saturated market. Again, with the candles thing, obviously candles it is a popular thing, but again, I always think a saturated market is a kind of good thing, really, because the demand is there. There's always going to be for a candle. It's just about how you brand it and how you learn how to optimize everything, particularly on Amazon. There's absolutely no reason at all why, for example, a new candle company couldn't come onto Amazon and compete with other ones. It all boils down to how good your brand is and how much of a belief you have in your products and quality. You can't beat quality. And if you're going into a market where there's a lot of competition, there's loads of tips and tricks you can do to bump up your customer service, great reviews, really good advertising campaigns on Amazon. There's a lot you can do to compete. It shouldn't put people off. Obviously, if you have a super duper niche thing where this product doesn't exist anywhere in the world, that's fantastic. But most small businesses don't have that. And what I would say to businesses that are looking to sell on Amazon, think of it as another revenue stream. It doesn't have to be the be all and end all. Just have it fit to your arsenal of where you sell. There's no reason why you can't sell on Amazon, sell on Instagram, sell on your website as well, and go to trade shows or markets. You can do all of it. And if you can add another revenue stream into your business, Amazon for me is my main revenue stream, but it doesn't have to be that at all. Other people could already have a really huge following on Instagram and make loads and loads of sales there, and they just want another stream.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the be all and end all on Amazon. And I think that applies to most platforms as well, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. So if someone's listening to this podcast and they're feeling like, okay, yes, I'd like to give this a go, what would be your top tip for someone looking to get started on Amazon?
This is what I say to everybody, is because there's a bit of a fear of Amazon, is just start, like literally just do it. There's open your account. The longer you've got an account open, the more the algorithm likes it. A historic account goes a long way in bumping up your listings. So that's the very first thing people is literally just start and open your account. That's the first step. Have a look around, familiarize yourself with everything. At the end of the day, if you start selling on Amazon and you find, look, it's just not for me, you can just close it down again. You're not tied into anything. So that's what I say to people. Just start, open your account, learn as much as you can. I spent literally a good 2 years, which in hindsight was a bit ridiculous, but that was just my position at the time. I wasn't in a position to hire a coach or anything like that. So if you've got that in your power, hire someone to help you with that, fast track yourself onto there, get your brand trademarked, because it, like we talked about earlier, it will give you a level of protection, not just against Amazon stealing your ideas, but just in general. In general. And on Amazon particularly, it does open up a whole other category of things you can do in brand registry. Choose your business model, whether you want to do FBA or FBN, and you can chop and change between them if you want to. Like if you think the run up to Christmas is going to be extremely busy, get Amazon to help you out with that. You do pay, obviously, extra fees for that. But if you can factor your pricing into that, it's well worth it, especially if it's a busy time of year for you. Once you've got all that set up and you're starting to get a bit of a feel for everything, start thinking about using the advertising model on Amazon as well. They're generally the things that I say to people just to get started. Figuring it all out, you can do that as you go along, really. That's generally the advice that I give to people.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Emily. It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you and hearing your story, your amazing story. And can you tell everyone a little bit more about where they can find out more about you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram quite a lot, and my handle it's dreamers_should, as in you should get going with your business. So dreamers_should. And I've got a website which is hello-dream.co.uk. And you can find out all about what I do on there. And my brand, if anyone's interested, it's called Stalklings. You can find it on Amazon, obviously.
Thanks so much for listening in. How about you? Have you considered Amazon? Do you already sell on Amazon? Why not head over to Instagram at Resilient Retail Club and let me know what your thoughts were on today's episode. And of course, if you have a moment to subscribe or follow the podcast, then you'll be the first to know about each new episode. And if you have a minute to rate and review the podcast, that makes a huge difference to me as well. Thanks so much. Have a great week. If you've enjoyed this week's episode, then I invite you to check out resilientretailclub.com. The Resilient Retail Club is the membership for anyone wanting to start, grow, or scale a profitable product business. No more trawling Google trying to find the answers to your questions or wading through general business advice that speaks mainly to service-based businesses. Whether you're still at the idea stage or you've been going for a while but want to get more focused and organised when it comes to your business, the Resilient Retail Club is the place for you. With a library of courses tailored to creative product businesses, several live sessions a month, and a supportive and active community, the Resilient Retail Club is the perfect membership to help you hit your goals faster. Check it out at resilientretailclub.com.